Hello everybody, Mr. Akins here and welcome to What's on the Comic Rack. I don't usually do unboxings on this channel, but I think I want to do a little bit of unboxing here. It's just one comic book. And I don't know if you would classify this as a FOMO buy. I would more classify this as a shame buy. Once I saw this comic book, I was ashamed I didn't own it, and I immediately went out and purchased it. Now, how did I know this comic book existed, or what reminded me about this comic book was a show that comes on every Monday night, put on by 22 Comics. That would be the top 10 alternative show. Now, what he does on that show is he takes the top 10 cover price comics for that week, and he shows them off, and then he also talks about maybe an alternative, maybe a cheaper alternative to what they're showing you. And on that show, this comic book came up, and when it did, I was really ashamed that I did not own it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and we're going to look at it. Of course, we're going to look at it Jambo style. So what I shame bought was Fantastic Four number 209, and I shame myself into buying this because during 22 Comics show there's always a friendly competition in the chat revolving around the comics that you have and don't have that he's showing. If you have a comic, you get a point. If you don't have a comic, of course you don't get a point. And the score is represented as a fraction, like let's say 5 out of 12, 5/12. 5 meaning those are the number of comics that you have, and 12 meaning he has shown 12 comics so far. So on this particular episode, this particular night of his top 10 alternative show, I had hardly any of the comics that he was showing. But the latest trailer for the new Fantastic Four movie had come out, and 22 and everybody in the chat just knew I had this Fantastic Four comic in my collection because it's one of the first with John Byrne art on the inside. And boy, was there some shaming going on when I had to admit I didn't have this comic. I mean, did somebody say John Byrne doesn't have this comic? So while the show was going on, I actually hopped on eBay and bought this bad boy right here. Now, why was it on the top 10 alternatives or cover prices top 10? Well, this is the first appearance of Herbie, which apparently appears in an FF trailer. I wouldn't know that because I haven't actually seen the trailer. Now, Herbie is based off of the same character from the 1978 Fantastic Four cartoon. I don't know if anybody remembers that, which in the comic book, the Thing actually references that cartoon show. Joe Sennett inked Byrne's pencils in this book, and it's definitely giving off that distinctive Byrne-Sennett style. The story was by Marv Wolfman. He was doing the writing on this, and I'm most familiar with Wolfman's work on his run of the Teen Titans, or the New Teen Titans, with George Perez. Now, this is definitely not a 9.8. I think it was around $7.99, and then think about $5 or $6 shipping, so I got it around $11 or $12. So let's take a look at some of the artwork on the inside. A lot of this artwork you can tell was inspired by Jack Kirby. This is definitely a Jack Kirby rendition of the Thing there. Certainly doesn't look like the way John Byrne started drawing the Thing once he got control of the title. But there is definitely, you can tell that it's Byrne. That is a definite Mr. Fantastic by John Byrne right there. I'm so glad I got this one in my collection. Got just one more piece of me collecting all the stuff that John Byrne has ever done. And there you go, my latest pickup for my John Byrne collection, Fantastic Four number 209. I'm in the process of trying to find everything John Byrne has ever done, make a box full of those things. Luckily, he was extremely popular in the 80s, and therefore numerous volumes of things like this were printed. So they're not rare, and they're usually not expensive. A lot of times you can find John Byrne things or John Byrne issues in the dollar bin. The only thing that you're not going to find that's probably not going to be in the dollar bin are Uncanny X-Men, where he was on that run with Chris Claremont. But you can find other things in the dollar bin. I found this one at my local LCS. This was in the dollar bin. Early John Byrne art in the back of this E-Man number 9. And this 17 long box collection, I was actually able to find this. This is box number 1 from Apple Comics. And guest cover artist, John Byrne. So there's another piece of the puzzle of this John Byrne collection. So a little short video about Fantastic Four number 209. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you around the comic rack.